Before we get started with the video, please be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and let me know in the comments down below. Is there any other classic constructed heroes you want to see that are being played in Silver Age that you would like help with transforming into classic constructed heroes? Let me know in the comments down below. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Welcome back to the world of Fi. Wanted to bring you guys a video to upgrade your Fi Silver Age deck into a classic constructed list. Now Sage is fun, fast, you can get a ton of games in, and it's a really great way to enjoy Flesh and Blood. But where Flesh and Blood truly shines is in the classic constructed format. Now I know classic constructed can be a little bit more expensive than Sage, as we do have legendaries and majestics in the card pool, but I want to make this video to show you a budget version so you can still play Fi in classic constructed and not break the bank. Now if you are willing to get some of these cards that are more expensive, they'll definitely help you in your games in classic constructed. But if you don't want to break the bank, you should be able to get a good amount of these cards in under 50 bucks. So let's jump right into it. Now for a reference, we're going to be using the top 8 Fi lists from Naib Mobasir. Hopefully I'm not butchering that. So this was at the very recent Calling Montreal. Yeah, great performance, pretty cool. And one of the things I really like about Fi is that a lot of the cards on his Silver Age deck still play in CC. We have things like Blaze Headlong, Inflame the Firebrand, Flame Call Awakening. So most importantly, you're just going to need a third copy of everything. Go around, ask your locals if you're already going to Silver Age armories. Maybe you open some compendium, you can get your additional copies of Inflame, Fire That Burns Within. For the most part, getting the third copies of your 2-ofs should not be that hard. Now we are going to talk about certain cards. We're going to quickly highlight Cinderskin Devotion because it's just not in the Silver Age deck. So you can order some on TCG Player, you can ask around, should be pretty easy to find. Now there are some cards that don't have replacements, like Rowdy Locals. This being a blue that can do an on hit is pretty good. There's no real replacement for this, unfortunately, but you can just play other blues. Most of the times the blues in Fi just function to fuel your deck. Now it is good that they have the option to be an ender, but like I said, most of the time we're pitching them away, and we'll get into Warmongers a little bit later. But let's go ahead and jump into it. Number 1 first priority, get yourself a Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. $5, shipping included. There's 11 sellers here. Now this is for US players on TCG Player. I'm sure you can find a Mask of Pouncing Lynx wherever you are. This is just a majestic from Everfest, but it's such a powerful card. And honestly, one of the best things about Lynx is just its price point. $5 for such an amazing card compared to Mask of Momentum, which can go anywhere from like 60 to 80 bucks. $5 for a Lynx, and this is best in slot for Fi. Make sure you get yourself Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. This is the most important part of the classic constructed Fi deck. Now Tiger Stripe Shuko is another key card in Fi. This being able to give your second attack with 2 or less base power +1 can make you so much value throughout the game. Now this did recently see a spike in its price due to Fi getting top 8, but 35 shipping is like $1.50, so around 36 bucks for a legendary arm piece. This has also seen play in previous ninjas, and I do think it'll see play in future ninjas too. So I would highly recommend getting this if you're playing Fi in Classic Constructed. Once you get Lynx and Shuko, you're like halfway there. Like, those are some of the most key cards in Fi. Now the next thing I really want to have is Art of Phoenix War. This just came out in Compendium. Now this card is pretty cheap, all things considered. Around $2 to $3 with shipping. We have tons of sellers, you know, ready to buy the card for like $3, so not bad. Would highly recommend getting a playset of this. This is a huge power card in Fi. Now to help you fuel the discard cost of Art of Phoenix War, we're playing cards like Inflame. Now this is not in the Silver Age precon, but it's a cheap common from Uprising. The list does play 3, so definitely pick yourself 3. Like I said, ask your locals. If you're playing at an armory that has established players, chances are they have, some of them have some of these commons and rares. So ask your community. Flesh and Blood is a very friendly community. Worst comes to worst and you have to buy them on TCG Player, put them all in your cart, and TCG Player has an optimizing tool that essentially shortens all the packages to be as concise and as cheap as possible. If you have questions, let me know down below. I'll try to help you out. Phoenix Bannerman Head, just a one-off. Again, it just helps fuel your Art of Phoenix War, and it makes a Ponder token. Now, Spreading Flames is another powerful card that Fi gets access to in Classic Constructed. With shipping, we're looking close to $3 per copy. Not too bad. I've seen some lists not play this, so if you really don't want to buy this, you might be okay with it, but I do think in the long term, Fi will need this. This is kind of like a Art of Phoenix War on its own. Sure, it does have to meet certain conditions to actually grant your Draconic attacks that +1 boost. Definitely worth getting. Ignite, another great Majestic. This one's a little pricier. We're looking at close to $7, about 6, more 6. But this is a really interesting card, as it's a red card that gives you a resource in a way, allowing you to play your next Draconic card with 1 less cost. I like to think of this as a red that kind of acts like a blue. Not exactly, but being able to discount things by 1 can be pretty powerful. You're playing your 1 cost, or if you have a resource floating from Tunic or something like that, Ignite will help you swing your Searing Ember Blade. So Ignite, I think, is definitely a must-have in Fi. It's another Draconic starter, and that's one huge difference from Classic Constructed and Silver Age. Classic Constructed does not have Brand with Cinderclaw, so our Draconic starters are a lot more limited since we lost Brand. Loyalty Beyond the Grave. This was a 2-of in Naib's list. Now this is pretty powerful for those longer mid-rangey games. Being able to banish 2 of these to draw a card can really help you set up a crazy turn in the late game. Now you do have to get them both in the graveyard to get the effect to draw a card, but I'm pretty sure you're only bringing this into these longer matchups, so this might be okay to skip out on. Maybe you can play other defense reactions, but the reason why this is being played is because of its explosive potential. If you're playing slower, grindier game, you put 2 of these in the graveyard, and that gives you a card to draw whenever you're ready to pop off. That's a big difference from this defense reaction to another one like Fate Foreseen. Now, Snapdragon Scalers, readily available. Ask your locals. Somebody has to have extras of these. This is being played in combination with Nimby. This gives you a really powerful spike turn where you play Nimby, use your Snapdragons to give it go again, and Nimby searches you Nimblism Blue to give you some resources to play with. It also plays a red Nimblism, so 1 and 1 of each. Very powerful explosive play that we don't see in Silver Age, as Snapdragon Scalers is banned. These are readily, easily, cheap available. Ask your locals. Like I say, these are like pennies on the dollar for these cards. First Tenant Strike first. Pretty good card. It's essentially a 0 for 4, as it gives your next Draconic card +1. This is not Draconic itself though, so something to note. And I just wanted to highlight this because it's not in the Silver Age precon. Now, Tenacity did get a rate print and the Antiquity pack for Compendium. They were playing this as a 2 of. This is a Mask of the Pouncing Lynx target against more defensive decks. This can get into a huge attack range, anywhere from like 6 to 9. Tenacity is very, very impactful. It blocks 3, and sometimes you can just pitch it as a yellow when you need the resources. Definitely pick yourself 2 of these. Tenacity is a great card. Next up, we got Salt the Wound. Now, one of the things I love about this card is you should be able to get it completely free if your local game store has the welcome decks. LSS provides them for free for players to just learn the game. If for some reason your store doesn't have any, they should be able to ask your distributor to get more at no cost to you or to them. So you might just have to wait a little bit. But the welcome deck coming with Salt the Wound, and I'm pretty sure it comes with 3 copies, so worst case you can buy them from TCG Player. But ask your local game store if they have a welcome deck IRA. Like I said, you can get this for free, so shout out LSS for having the welcome decks. Now we're also playing 3 Sink Belows. This is banned in Silver Age, but this is a staple and Classic constructed. There's many versions of Sink Below. We're not really going to look at these expensive fancy ones. Sink Below should run you anywhere from $1 or $2. And when you buy this, just know Sink Below is played in so many different decks. This is an amazing purchase for your Flesh and Blood journey. Powers of Agility, being played as a 2 of. Like I said, it's a blue. A lot of times we're pitching it, but it does give you a chance to play it as an ender. And on certain turns where you do want to destroy this to draw your card, it can help you do an explosive play. For a Majestic, it's pretty cheap. We're looking at under $1, so not bad. Now, Lane Strike is a card that has been recently going up. I think last time I saw Lane Strikes, they were like 20 to 15 bucks. Now they're all hovering around 25. So if you don't want to get this for your budget build, completely understandable. I think a good replacement for this is Snatch. So just go ahead and put 2 Snatch in instead of Lane Strike. Warmonger's Diplomacy unfortunately has no good replacement. This card is very unique in the things it does and the decks it counters. You can play any blue that blocks 3. You know, even Nip of the Heels that came in a Sage deck. There's no real good replacement for Warmongers, unfortunately. But there is 2 versions available. They're both around 30 bucks. So make your choice if you want to buy it or not. Completely up to you. But this is a blue that has seen play throughout different decks. And it counters a lot of very powerful decks like Dash.io and Vincent. Now Tunic, the talk of the town. This is a budget upgrade, so we're not really going to talk about Tunic. Everybody that's been playing the game probably knows about this card. But a good replacement, I think it's actually Old Knocker. Being able to just tap your hero to gain a resource. Now it is a one-time use, but sometimes with Fi, if you're setting up a really big turn, that one resource really helps you go crazy, whether it's for your Art of Phoenix War, or for some other reason that you might need a resource. I think Old Knocker is a pretty good replacement if you don't want to buy the Tunic. Now, not exactly a replacement, Flamescale Furnace. This is being run in the list, mainly for its 2-block temper, being able to defend crucial on hits. It's a pretty good chess piece, but it's not a chess piece that really gives you resources. So I wouldn't buy this in replacement of Tunic because they really serve different purposes. That being said, a legendary for pretty much 30 bucks for the rainbow foils, it's not too bad. I wouldn't get this before you get all the Majestics and cards I previously went over. But this is a pretty good piece of chest for matchups like Assassin and other matchups where you might need to block and play a little more mid-rangey. But that about wraps it up, guys. If you guys have any questions on 5, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to read all the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching. Peace.